a lot of you may be asking, what can social media do for my parish or for my ministry or for my school, and why do we need it? And I'm here to tell you that it's going to become an extremely useful tool for building community and fellowship within whatever organization you're representing. So the snippets you see on the slide, hopefully you can read them, but again, they'll be online as well. They're from the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops website, specifically their social media guidelines page. So I'm sure you're all familiar with that website. They give us a lot of good information. And they say that social media can be powerful tools for strengthening community, that they can support parish and diocesan communities in a bunch of ways. They can connect your parishioners and your youth who have who are on social media and have similar interests. You can share information about what's happening at your church or in your ministry or in your school. And you can engage with people. There is a woman who calls herself a digital ministry expert, and I've read a few of her books, and I actually tried to read one of them last night before I got here, and I got pretty far through it, but I'm pretty tired today. But anyways, she is fabulous, and that's worth mentioning, and I can let you know the name of that book if you're interested. But she says that social media gives churches a tool to extend their reach beyond people who show up at Mass every week or volunteer or come to ministry. And she tells us it's possible to have conversations and build relationships with people who maybe cannot get to Mass for whatever reason, or they're shut-ins, or for whatever reason. It gives you the opportunity to reach people who need to be reached. So that's a big consideration today. Social media is going to support and enhance your church community or your ministry. It can extend witness to the sacraments, but it's not a replacement for receiving the sacraments. And Danielle kind of touched on that earlier. So that being said, the social media platforms we're going to talk about today will give you an opportunity to connect and engage and foster that culture of fellowship that's so important within your church or community. And we're just going to briefly talk about some best practices for getting started and give you some examples of how organizations within our diocese are doing really well on social media. So this is, you may have seen these. It's Social Media Explained, and this is the church edition. So it shows you the different social media platforms. So on the top, it's Facebook. So I like my church. You go on Facebook and you like things. With Twitter, you say, oh, I'm listening to a hashtag sermon. And we'll talk about a hashtag later. And we're actually live tweeting from here today, which is kind of exciting. With YouTube, here's a video of my church. With Instagram, here's a vintage photo of my church. Pinterest, oh, here's some craft ideas for Sunday school. And Google, I'm a Google employee who goes to church. It's kind of an inside Google joke. But at any rate, this gives you an idea of sort of how there's a million different ways to say the same thing on social media. One of the first things that people ask me when I talk to them about social media, and one of the things that the diocese was kind of struggling with before they had me, I guess, no pressure, Nicole, is the time commitment. People always say, oh, I don't have time for that. When, do you really think I have time for that? And you do. I spend, 6 hours a day on social media, but that's because it's my job. You don't need to spend 6 hours a day. I'm challenging you to just 15 minutes a day, rather. May seem like a lot for some of you who wear many hats, who are really busy. Maybe some of you are here because someone in your parish or ministry said, oh, I need you to take this other role on, and so you're here for that reason. But it only takes 15 minutes a day, I promise. You can schedule your posts ahead of time. We do that all the time at the diocese. I have posts lined up through Thanksgiving. so I don't have to think about doing it. And when I'm not at work for some reason or on the weekend, people can still see a fresh post from us. So that certainly makes it easier and faster. And you can also connect your social media accounts. So you update one place and it goes through the amazing internet and ends up everywhere. So it's one and done. And those are some of the things that we'll try to get you doing so that it's super streamlined and easy and there's no excuses. We want to point out too, again, you may have seen this, is there are some social media guidelines that the diocese has posted for you. If you go to parishsop.syrdio.org, you can see our social media guidelines there. And those come directly from the Conference of Catholic Bishops site. It gives you kind of a framework for what's appropriate. It's good to refer to. I've referred to it several times since I started because I want to make sure that I'm, doing the right thing. And if you at any point have questions about what's appropriate, should I post this, or if you happen to have some type of interaction with someone online through social media and you're not sure what the best way to handle it is, you can contact the diocese and we'll help you and make sure that you handle that in the appropriate way. So the first social media platform we're going to talk about is Facebook. How many of you have a personal Facebook page? Wow. Okay, that's awesome. How many of you are responsible for updating the Facebook page at work or at your church or your ministry? Okay, that's good. So before I really get into the basics of updating and what can you really do with Facebook, I want to give you some interesting facts. So the average Facebook user is between 29 and 34 years old. So that's my generation. I think Corey said netizens. I like that. I'd never heard that. That's a good one. Every second, 5 new Facebook accounts are created. That's business and personal, which I thought was fascinating. And the average user logs into Facebook 24 times a day and spends at least 20 minutes on the site. So that should tell you something. Those are pretty powerful numbers. You can't afford to not be on Facebook. And it's great for sharing parish news. It's like an extension of your church bulletin, really, is what Facebook can become. And that's important because, again, we want to reach people who maybe can't come to church for whatever reason or need that additional outreach. It's wonderful for creating and highlighting upcoming events in your ministry or your parish or your school. It's wonderful for sharing videos. We share all the videos that Rick from Catholic TV posts on Facebook. People love video. It's an extremely powerful tool for your church or for your ministry. I could do a whole nother presentation on why video is so important for you. But maybe next year we'll do that. And Facebook is huge for engaging people. You can have a conversation on Facebook. Maybe you don't have that opportunity to have a conversation and an interaction with everybody who comes to Mass on Sunday, or everyone who picks their kids up at school, or everyone who comes to youth ministry every week. So you can either have new conversations or extend those conversations with social media. And that gives you a lot of opportunity to reach people. So I want to give you an example of how one of the parishes in our diocese is using Facebook. This is the page of St. Joseph and St. Patrick Church in Utica. They are represented here today, and they are doing a wonderful job. They use social media in the way that I hope the rest of you will use it. They're trying to keep their parishioners informed of what's happening, but they're also posting interesting stuff. I always tell people to go by the 80-20 rule on social media. 80% of the time, you post about things that are directly relevant to your business or your organization. So Mass times, announcements from church, youth ministry has been rescheduled, those type of things. And then 20% of the time, you post about things that are just funny or interesting that you think might get people talking. So if there's an SU football game, you can say, go SU and post a picture, things like that. Or the first time it snows, you could post a beautiful picture of the snow, whatever you want to do. But 20% of the time, you want to do something fun and exciting to keep people interested. You can see that they're doing a great job of that. They post, today is All Souls Day, and they give you a little picture. Pictures are great to use. But then they also post quotes. That's a quote from Pope Francis. And you can see where that big arrow is that people liked that post. 7 people liked it. They thought it was great. And there were also 2 comments. So people liked it so much, they felt like they had to say something about it. So the question you might be wondering is, what does a like have to do with it? See what I did there? Does anybody get it? Okay. I thought maybe. Thanks, Danielle. So the moment I like something on Facebook, Facebook will tell everybody. Facebook is like that girl in high school that knew all my business that would tell everybody right away before I wanted anybody to know. So you can see that I liked Syracuse Catholic Television. And as soon as I liked it, all of my Facebook friends saw that I liked it in their newsfeed. And some of them said, oh, that's interesting. Well, if Nicole likes it, it must be good. So let me go click on it and see what it's about. So they went and they looked at the page, and then they looked around and they said, oh, I like this too. So then they hit the like button. So it's just a cycle. It's like free advertising, really, just with one click. You can also see that's a picture of some comments and likes that the diocese had on one of our posts. 28 people liked it. And then we had a bunch of people start commenting. And we also had 3 people share it. They liked it so much that they hit the like button, and then they shared it too. So again, it showed up on their page. All of their friends saw it. It's like free advertising. And you didn't even have to pay anybody to do it. And they did it on their own volition because they thought what you posted was really awesome. Okay. So again, most of you probably know how to post on Facebook, but I'm operating under the assumption right now that maybe you don't, or that's all you know how to do. All you know how to do is post something. So the next few slides are pretty basic, maybe for some of you. But if you're new to Facebook, or you're here because somebody asked you to be here because now this is your role in whatever organization you're from, Facebook is really easy to use. I always joke that if my mom can do it, then anybody can do it. And it's true. So all you have to do is type in that box. It asks you, hey, what have you been up to? And you don't want to ignore Facebook, so you should answer it. So you say, whatever you want. You just start typing, and then you hit that nice little blue button, and you're done. But what I really love about Facebook, and the diocese, again, I do this all the time, and it's great and easy, and makes my life simpler. You can schedule a post. This is great, too, for people who maybe work, 1 or 2 days a week at their church, or, they're in the school and they have a million other things to do, and they need to continue establishing that presence on Facebook, but they don't want to be tied to updating it constantly. So to schedule a post, you can just start typing. See, this is where you'll type your message. And then you click the little arrow next to the blue button, and it gives you some really great options. And now, as of a few weeks ago, you can backdate a post. So if you realize, oh, I forgot to post something, Danielle is going to be really mad, I can backdate it, and she'll never know. But I haven't actually done that yet, but... So that's another option. Or you can save the draft. If you think, oh, I don't know if so-and-so is going to like this post, but I don't want to forget what I said. You can save it, and then you can talk to whomever, do whatever, and then you can post it later. So Facebook is really intuitive and makes it really easy for you. You can see, too, at the top there that at that time I had a post scheduled for the future. So it tells me, gives me a list of what I've scheduled. And if I think, oh, maybe I should edit that, or, oh, the Catholic Sun just sent me a picture I should add to that post, I can go back and edit posts, whether they're saved or scheduled or they're already live. You can edit or delete at any time. So don't feel like once you post it, it's there and it's gone, and if you made a typo or said the wrong thing or whatever, you can always fix it. So don't worry about that aspect of it. The other thing that I think will be really great for all of the ministries and parishes and schools is the ability to create an event on Facebook. It's really the same as posting a status update, so it doesn't require any other exciting special skills. What's great about this is you can create that event, you can invite people to it, and then you can track who's coming, who isn't coming, who's maybe coming. So you could reach out to those groups of people, keep those people on a separate list and talk to them about, why did you want to come, why didn't you want to come? That gives you some insightful marketing tools. So all you need to do is pull up your Facebook page and click on the little event button, as you can see. And then it will give you some form that you can fill out. So you create the event, you name it. You want to be really specific so that everybody knows what that event is about. And also this is important too because on the internet you want to be found, right? You want to be easily seen by whomever's on the web because over 95% of people now go online to find things. It's probably more than that. They don't open the phone book or call the operator. I don't even know if you can call the operator anymore. I'll have to try that later, but everybody goes online. So you want to make sure you're specific and so that you can be found. So for example, if you're having a healing mass at St. Mary's, you'll name the event Healing Mass at St. Mary's. And then you'll write in the details, join us Wednesday for a special healing mass. If there's anything you want to tell people to bring or to do or where to go, that's where you'd put it. Then you can tell them where it's going to be. So it will automatically populate with your location. So Diocese of Syracuse, but you can change the location. And Facebook is really good. It'll give you some suggestions. So you can usually just start typing and then you'll see where you want and just click on it. So that makes it easy too. You can add a start and end time. It'll tell you what the weather's going to be that day, which is interesting. And then you can give it a category, which is really important. There is a category under community for religious events, but if it's more appropriate, you might choose something else like fundraiser or family event. And you want to, again, make that really specific so that people know exactly what they're getting into. This is an event that I created on our Facebook page. And I want to remind everyone, too, that on the Diocese website, we do have an events calendar, and we welcome everybody from all over the diocese, schools, ministries, parishes, to submit events to us so that you can plan ahead. So if you're having that healing mass at St. Mary's, but St. Joe's is having a healing mass the same night, and you're just right down the street from each other, maybe you want to think about changing the date or talking to them so that you can plan as a diocese. So don't forget to visit our website and submit some events to us so that people who visit our site can also find out what's happening in your parish. So that's a good tool for you guys too. But as you can see, there's a description. It tells you where it is. It tells you the date. People can also comment, and you can have conversations about the event. And on the side, you can't really see that little green box, but Facebook provides you with analytics and information about how well your page is doing. And we will be posting some more information about that online for those who are interested in tracking that. But that's where it will tell you, this is how many people saw it, this is how many people clicked on it and looked, this is how many people are coming, So you have a really good view of how well your posts and your events are performing. And I challenge everybody to go back and create a Facebook event, even if it's just for Sunday Mass or something that everybody knows is happening every weekend already. But just try it, invite some people, get comfortable with how it works, and then you can start using it in new and different ways too. So again, there's lots of ways you can use Facebook. There's a million things you can do with it, and we'll have some really cool user guides available online that you can download and print or keep them on your computer and share them with people. But this was just kind of a basic overview of how you might want to use Facebook. The Diocese Facebook page is at facebook.com/Diocese of Syracuse. We have over 1,500 followers, which is pretty good. And that number's growing exponentially. And we invite you to go and look at our posts and share them. If you don't know what to post, go to one of the Diocese sites and just click on the like button or share button, and that will give you some content ideas. The next platform, oh, yes.
With Facebook, what would you recommend in terms of the number of posts? How frequently should a parish post?
I mean, as a rule, I try to post, at least twice a day. Depends on what's going on. It depends on what works for you initially, depending on time constraints and the amount of content you have. Maybe you only post once a day. Again, that's what I do all day, so I, am looking for great things to post. But you certainly don't want to not be posting frequently because people will forget about you, but you don't want to overdo it. There's a fine line, and you'll figure it out, and people will also tell you. If you start seeing that you have less people liking your page or liking your posts, they might be trying to tell you that, it's a little too much or it's not enough. So it's kind of a trial and error thing. Yes?
I think time of day too.
Yes.
At the same time, everything.
Yeah, that's a good point. Time of day, and you'll start figuring out when the best time to post for your organization is. So for the Diocese, I've been posting every morning, something about the readings for the day, and the feedback we've gotten has been, oh, I love that you post this because I use this when I pray in the morning or when I have reflection time in the morning. So we usually post something in the morning and then in the afternoon, and if we get some really great information in the middle of the day or at an off time when maybe I wouldn't normally post, we share it. Yesterday we got a post from Bishop Ludden, and so we shared it right away. But you'll figure out too when people are watching your page. And Facebook will also give you some insights about that too. So that's, again, you'll start to see what people like and when they like to see it from you. Does anybody else have Facebook questions? Yes.
But I know in the past it will only post to the people that are maybe or going. Do they have an option yet that you can do like a reminder from your original post to all of the initial invitees, even if they don't plan it?
Right. What I will do is, like with that massive consecrated life that we're having on November 30th. So we've started posting, I think last week. We did one initial post, then we created the event, we tweeted about it. And then we did another post yesterday to remind people. And then we'll do another one, probably next week or later this week. But I'll go right into the event page and update the status. And that's how everybody that was invited initially will see it. I believe the maybe people get it too, I think. But that's what I would do. Or I just go on the page and post a reminder and link them to the event. Just a reminder, if you haven't RSVP'd, we have this event coming up. So, but that is a good question. I'll have to look more into that. Yes?
I'm confused a little bit. On Facebook, once you put it on, it's out there. Or I put it on Facebook, but I have a list of people that I send it to. Which is it?
With a Facebook event, you have the option to invite people to the event. So when you post an event on your parish page, for example, everyone who follows and likes the page will see it automatically, but then you can also invite other people if you'd like. So when you update a Facebook event, there's kind of a list, if you will, of attendees or maybes. But in general, on a Facebook page, any update will be seen by the people who like the page. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm explaining that as...
Because I want to know if I put it on Facebook, it's out there.
Yes. Once you post on Facebook, and you have like a public page, people who like it can see it, but you know, if they are on your main website and they go to Facebook from your main website, they can also see that. So it is out there. It is available for everyone to see. But those people that follow and like your page will see it immediately. It'll show up right in their news feed. Whereas those other people who haven't liked your page yet might have to do a little more work to see that update. So hopefully that, and I talk to you more if you'd like after and try to explain that better for you. Yes?
Any ideas on how to increase the number of people who are following your page?
Yeah. The best way to get more people to like your page is to give them good content. So people love to see pictures. Video is huge. And you'll figure out what your people like, but it always comes back to the content. If you don't have something interesting to say and you don't have good content, who cares? So that's the most important thing. And one of the things you might want to do as you get started is use the posts on the Diocese page, yes, to just share them. And then as you see what people like, then you can start creating your own posts. People will tell you, just like in life, they'll tell you on social media if they like it or if they don't like it. But again, content is hugely important. So in the beginning, I would share what we've got for you. And if people like it, then you can create your own post that's similar. And hopefully you'd have the same success. So that content's going to be the best way to get more people. Not only that, but you want to link to your social media from your main website if you have one. On the bottom of the Syracuse Diocese website, we have a little bar that has links to all our social media pages, and we can help you do that. And you also want to tell people about it. So in the church bulletin, at events, let people know you're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Go follow us. And people will do that. So you just have to keep talking about it and having great content and giving people things that are useful and exciting. And it will kind of grow organically from there. Okay. Oh, go ahead. We'll do one more and then we'll move on. Right, right. It's kind of a blessing and a curse, I guess, of social media. It allows people to have another platform to say whatever they want to say. I guess my best practice and something we kind of talk about at the diocese is if somebody posts something that is inappropriate, or perhaps they ask a question, you know, that's like a loaded question, or they have a comment to a post that maybe is negative, you can either delete it, or depending on the context and the tone, you can address it and you can engage them. And in marketing, internet marketing, blogging especially, if someone posts a bad post on my blog, I answer them and I say something like, oh, I'm so sorry you feel that way. Let's have a conversation about it. That's, customer service 101 kind of is, can I help you? Can we have a dialogue? And then everyone else will see, oh, that parish or the diocese, they really care about what I had to say. They're there and they're responding. So depending on the comment or the interaction, it might be more appropriate to delete it, or it might be okay to have an interaction. And that can actually be a really positive thing. So again, it depends, and you can always reach out to the diocese and we can talk to you about the best way to approach a situation like that so that you handle it properly. So moving on to Twitter, everyone keeps saying that is such a funny name for something, and it is a really funny name, but you can get really great results from Twitter as well. Again, I'm not live tweeting right now. It would be amazing if I were, but we'll be tweeting all day from this event so that people who are not here can see what we're up to. So why Twitter? Why should you use it? Twitter is a great way to get news out. 20% of people in a recent survey, they don't go to a news site like NBC.com or Fox News or whatever. They go to Twitter for their news because lots of breaking news stories in the past few years have broken first on Twitter. So I think it was 2010 when that Captain Scully landed that plane in the Hudson River. The first picture and information about that before any news story got it was on Twitter. That's where the story broke. So Twitter there's millions and millions of people on Twitter all day. That's all they do, they sit on Twitter. So for your purposes, Twitter's a great way to get things out fast. You have 140 characters in which you can tell people something. So it can be a learning curve to figure out, well, how do I say everything I have to say to them in that short of characters, but you'll figure it out. An example here I have, there's the Diocese Twitter. You can share videos and links and all types of good things. And you can also get the word out fast. So the example I had was Mass at St. Mary's has been canceled because there's a water leak. So stay tuned on Facebook and Twitter and we'll update you with the Mass schedule. So if you have people that attend your ministries or your parish or your schools, it's great for schools. You know, we have a snow day, maybe someone didn't listen to the radio or the news that morning and school's closed or there's a delay. You can tweet about it and people can see it immediately. And you can also have a conversation. So it's just another way to engage and reach people. And these are a couple of examples of how organizations in the parish are using Twitter. I have to say we have a lot of organizations and parishes especially who are using Facebook really well, and I'm happily surprised at the amount of you who are using Twitter as well. This is Bishop Grimes Athletics. They do a really great job. They live tweet from sporting events, which is really cool, and they do a wonderful job of this. And then this is St. James in Syracuse. They post quotes, they post information, news, links to other news stories that they find interesting, and photos. So they're using it again as an extension of their church bulletin, reaching people just in another way when they're not at Mass or at ministry or wherever. So Twitter, a lot of people are especially resistant to Twitter. I can get them to use Facebook, but they just don't want to tweet. But it's really easy. And again, you can connect Twitter and Facebook. So maybe you just update Facebook and it goes to your Twitter automatically. And then you never actually have to tweet if you don't like it. It is funny. The jargon is very funny. But all you do, just like Facebook, is you start typing in the box. Twitter doesn't ask you what you've been thinking or what you're doing, but you just have to tell them. So you just start typing. See the little red box? Hopefully you can see that. That will tell you how many characters you have left to use, and it will the number will change to red with a little minus sign in front when you've run out and you've said too much. It will tell you. It won't let you post. You can also add a photo if you'd like. Just like Facebook, you can share photos as well. And one of the things that I was joking with Danielle about is the hashtag, and bringing the hashtag up today because it's kind of confusing, and people say, well, that's a pound sign. What is the hash brown? I had a client that called it hash brown forever. I used my hash browns. Oh, good. Oh, I'm so proud of you. That's great. And it is kind of funny, but he was just so happy that he used his hash brown on social media. So you can call it whatever you want, but the bottom line is it is important. In layman's terms, I struggle with how to describe this, but the easiest way is the hashtag is an indicator. It's a tool that helps your updates to be found online. And it also organizes your updates for you. So the hashtag will become a handy little helper for you once you figure out how to use it. So as you can see, there's an example of how we use the hashtag. We want people to know, people who are looking online for healing masses, or they're looking for what's happening at Holy Family Church, or they're searching for what's going on in Syracuse. We put that little pound sign, little hashtag, in front of certain words or phrases. They become links that people can click on. I know it's very confusing, the hashtag, but you can see how we used it here. We're letting people know there's a healing mass at Holy Family this evening from 7 to 8:30. So we put that hashtag to organize and help us be found. And you can see we used it again. Visit us on Instagram for daily Catholic encouragement photos and more. There's a few hashtags that we always use in our updates at the diocese. Well, as of 3 weeks ago, we started using them, I guess. Yeah, no problem. You did use hashtags before.
Yes, I just guessed.
Yes, but that's okay. Sometimes you just have to guess. And again, just like with the amount of posts, don't get too wild with the hash browns. You don't need everything to be a hashtag, but that's just an example showing you. Every morning when I post something on Instagram, a picture that has to do with today's reading, send it to Facebook and Twitter as well, and we use the hashtag prayerful mornings. So now people can search for prayerful mornings, and they can see all of our updates. They're all in one nice little place. And then you can see the Archdiocese of Milwaukee. They're wonderful to follow. They give me a lot of advice on how to, as a diocese, how to use social media. You can see how they've used their hashtags as well. Hashtag Pope Francis. If you ever want to be found and have your information go viral online, just put hashtag Pope Francis. No matter what it is, people are just searching and loving everything about him. So that's a good little trick. But in the beginning, on Facebook and Twitter and other social media, these are some ideas for you for using hashtags so that you don't have to think too much about it. Your church name, so hashtag, Holy Rosary or hashtag St. Mary's. And then Syracuse Diocese, we use that obviously, but we encourage you to use that as well because you're a part of the diocese as a whole. And then hashtag Catholic encouragement is one that we've been using a lot of. So those are 3 examples of hashtags you might just want to use to get started with. So again, Twitter is 140 characters or less. You'll figure out how to be as brief as possible, but yet still be interesting. And that's our Twitter. We have, I think we have over 1,500 followers on Twitter as well. And we'll be live tweeting again today, so you can look for the hashtag SYR Diocese Tech Day, and we'll have all our updates categorized in that way. When you get on Twitter again, like Facebook, you can just join Twitter and start, it's called retweeting, sharing, retweeting what we're doing, what other parishes are doing, what the Pope has to say, what the Vatican has to say. They have some very interesting updates. And that will just make it easier for you. And before, we'll do some questions at the end if you have any questions about Twitter, but we'll just briefly go over Instagram. Have you all heard of Instagram? Okay. Is anybody on Instagram here? Okay. This is my favorite. Instagram is my favorite because it's so easy. I can connect it with Facebook and Twitter, and I'm a terrible photographer. I'm really bad at taking pictures. But Instagram makes every picture I take look like I'm some famous National Geographic world-renowned photographer. So that's why I use it. And Rick knows since I've been here. Every time he puts me on film, I ask him, can you do the lighting? Can you get the lighting and make me look good with the lights? So you can do that with Instagram. So you'll be amazed at how good you look on Instagram. But the reason we use Instagram, let me take these little papers and move forward. Didn't know if I'd need them or not. So it's hugely popular with people on social media. A lot of people, teenagers and 20-somethings, are not really on Facebook as much. It's more people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. But all the teenagers and all the 20-somethings are on Instagram. That's where they are. So if you are here from a youth ministry group, or you're doing some evangelization with youth, or 20-somethings, you need to be on Instagram, because I promise you they're there, and they're there all day. They're checking all day. And again, Instagram can be connected to Facebook and Twitter, so that's usually where I do a lot of our updates. I post on the Diocese Instagram, and then it goes right to Facebook and Twitter, and I'm all set. And my picture looks really good. So to share a photo, it's really easy. It's just like updating Facebook or Twitter. You use Instagram on your phone. You can't really use it from a desktop. You can check it, and I believe you can comment, but you can't really post pictures. But don't let that discourage you, because almost everybody has a smartphone, and if you don't, someone that you work with, or someone in the parish, or someone in ministry or the school has one. It's free to download, so don't let that stop you from using it. On the other hand, it's great because I obviously have my phone everywhere I go, so I can take a picture at any moment and update something on the Diocese page or my own personal page. So it's kind of gives you that opportunity to do that 20% of the time. You can share something really cool on the spot with everyone. You just hit the little blue button in the middle, and you upload a picture or take a picture. So you can use pictures that are already on your phone, or you can take one through the app. You can change the filter. As you can see, there's all these incredible filters that will adjust the way that the picture looks. And then you can write a caption. So you can say whatever you want to say. For example, here's another blurb about the healing mass. You can see I used the hashtag. You don't have to right away, but I would suggest using those same 3 hashtags. We'll go over those again, because it organizes everything on Instagram so that the people who want to know what you have to say can find you easily. Can also see, with the arrow, that Facebook and Twitter, I'm not sure if you can tell, but they're in blue type on this side. And that's because I hit the Facebook and Twitter button because I want my update to go to those sites as well. So that's how easy it is. And this is really what I rely on as a social media person and marketer. I love Instagram. It just makes it so much easier. And hopefully y'all have that same experience. And then you hit the big blue share button. Just like Twitter and Facebook, whenever you're ready to share, it's usually a big blue button. Again, there's those hashtags for you, your church name or your ministry name, Syracuse Diocese and Catholic Encouragement. Pope Francis, again, is a big one. You'll be found if you use that. And as you can see, up at the top, it says hashtag prayerful Thanksgiving. So you probably all got that email that we sent out about our Thanksgiving social media campaign, trying something new, and the response has been really incredible. So I have to thank you all for making me look really good with Danielle, like I have great ideas. And everyone's been participating. And I have my little whiteboard and my marker here today. If anybody wants their picture taken, we can put you on Instagram as well. But what this is showing you is that every time someone searches for those words on Instagram, they'll see all of our pictures. So it's a great opportunity for people who maybe haven't liked you yet or don't know what you're about to see what you have to say. So that's another hashtag that your organizations may want to use as we go into the Thanksgiving season. We've been using it with great success. So there's another suggestion for you. This is another example of how we use Instagram and hashtags and updates. This was one of our prayerful morning posts. We've got a great picture, and you can go online. Pinterest is a great place to find pictures. but you can Google, or if you have pictures, or you can take one. There's a picture that corresponds with that gospel reading for the day, and we just gave people a little bit of Catholic encouragement for the morning. Yes?
Are there issues with copyright?
Yeah. In a lot of pictures online on Google, I rarely go just to search for images and use random images, but on Pinterest, which is kind of a sharing site, unless it's got like a copyright over it or something like that, it's generally okay to use. There's certainly a whole nother hour and a half we could talk about all of those things online. But again, if you have questions, you can always ask us, and we can help you with that. So far, so good. But generally, I like Pinterest for that reason, because people are uploading things themselves and sharing them, and so they're there on the web for everyone to use.
So
Yes.
with Instagram,
Yes.
you can get more than 140 characters.
Yes, correct. They may restrict you with the amount of characters, but I haven't had so much to say yet that they've cut me off. So, I mean, you should be good, yeah. But Twitter really is the only one that restricts you with those 140 characters or less. That's our Instagram. We've posted some pictures already today, and we'll be posting more. Yes?
Just a question on the Instagram. It's not limited to the characters, but 30 hashtags.
Yes, that's right. Thank you. You can use a maximum of 30 hashtags or hash browns. Thank you. If you're using that many hashtags, it's kind of excessive. But so you're only restricted with the hash brown intake on that. But that's our Instagram account. It's fairly new. We started it when I got here. So please like us. I think we have 39 people that like us. So the end of the day goal is 45 people. So download it and like me. Yes?
So for our hash browns,
Yes.
for our church name, obviously there's like St. Mary's and St. Joseph's. Do you recommend that we do like?
I would do something like hashtag St. Mary's Oswego, so that you can define yourself from the others. And you'll figure out what works best for you. So, but yes, anytime you can be really specific and identify yourself so that your organization stands out, that's the way to do it. Later we'll have information on how to connect all your accounts. You can download that online. Really easy to do. Quickly before we wrap up, this is all of the Diocese social media accounts. Again, they're on the very bottom of our website, so you can click on them and access them from our website. We have Pinterest, we have LinkedIn, we have a wonderful YouTube channel where Rick uploads all our great Catholic TV videos. And we'll have more information too about the other social media platforms that you can use. They'll be online too. Quickly, I must point out, this is St. Joseph and St. Patrick in Utica. This is my new friend, Deborah. She did something wonderful. She linked to all of our social media accounts right on their homepage so that you can all see them and find them, and their parishioners can find them. So that's a wonderful example of making the connection and sharing. And then hopefully that's not how you feel at the end of this. It's very overwhelming, but you can email me, you can call me, you can go on our Tech Day website, and there'll be lots more information, and we can keep the conversation going. So thank you for putting up with me. Again, it's my third week. So hopefully that was helpful, and there'll be more information, and I look forward to talking with you all throughout the rest of the day. So thank you very much.